Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Tristana updated complete guide for patch 4.3 onwards, and of course, first things first, don't forget to check out Tristana's basic guide for her skills, leveling order, tips and tricks, as well as her combos. But with all that said, let's jump into talking about the changes. So basically, I still think Tristana is one of the two best ADCs, the other one being Kai'Sa, and in the current patch you basically have two options. So your first option is the old build, which involves going for Phantom Dancer, but now you can go for Gluttonous Greaves as well. So the old build involves going for Phantom Dancer and the Conqueror, but this new build basically involves not going for Phantom Dancer and instead going for Lethal Tempo. So basically, with the old build, you're getting more AD from your runes and your items, and of course you're getting the main attack speed from Phantom Dancer. Whereas from this build, your main attack speed source is going to be Lethal Tempo together with Berserker's Greaves, which basically allows you to build full-on 4 AD items. Now personally, from my testing, I think this new build is better, and the main reason I think this new build is better is because the old build, you basically had to go for Phantom Dancer first item, which gave you no AD and basically made your early game a lot weaker. And you're gonna take longer, you have better scaling and you're gonna be stronger in the late game, but your early and mid game is gonna be a lot weaker. Whereas with this build, I feel that it's a lot more balanced in the sense that although your late game is weaker than the other build, your early and mid game is still incredibly better. So what is this build? Your first item is going to be Shield Bow, which of course gives you the basic stats, AD, crit, attack speed, and of course you have that lifeline passive which gives you the shield and additional physical vamp when you drop low. Now alternatively, you could go for Storm Razor in this position. You could go for Storm Razor instead if you don't want the shield or if you prefer to play more aggressive. In fact, a lot of the top Tristanas actually take Storm Razor instead of Shield Bow, but I like the safety of Shield Bow personally, so this is kind of a personal choice kind of thing. If you didn't go for Shield Bow and you went for Storm Razor instead, you could go for Shield Bow in the last position for your final item over here if you like. So second, this is where your attack speed comes from, so you're going to want to get the Berserker's Greaves for the attack speed, 30% of that, and of course you get movement speed and AD as well. Third item, you go for the very quick blades, and I think this is a huge core item for Tristana for for multiple reasons. Honestly, it's just for the cooldown. Tristana benefits from all three of her basic abilities from the cooldown of the very quick blades. Getting her E up faster is going to increase her damage output by a lot because her E is one of her main forms of damage. If you don't get a jump reset, getting the very quick blades is going to let your jump come out a lot faster, which gives you more mobility and more safety. And with the very quick blades, your Q is basically going to be on 0 cooldown, so you're basically always going to have bonus attack speed from your Q, combined together with the attack speed from Lethal Tempo and Berserker's Greaves. That's more than enough attack speed, so you can go for more AD items. So of course IE next, so of course get the boost in crit damage, and then Maul Reminder for the armor penetration as well as the grievous wounds, and finally Bloodthirster for more AD, 100% crit, and of course the physical vamp together with the Bloodthorn shield. Now you still get a lot of physical vamp from this build actually because of your Bloodthirster as well as your Shield Bow, and in the runes we have of course Legend Bloodline, so you actually still heal up a lot in addition to doing a lot of damage. So of course, as I mentioned, we have Lethal Tempo for our Keystone rune, of course with the attack speed. We have Brutal because we're of course attacking a lot. Coup de Grace, of course, to get more damage against low HP targets. You could also go for Giant Slayer if you're against a tanky team. Bloodline for the Omnivamp. You could go for Legend Alacrity if you prefer, and Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities in lane and in late game team fights. For the spells, Flash as well as Exhaust. Now, I actually prefer Exhaust to Ghost most of the time since Tristana is always jumping in, and generally you always jump in, you can just exhaust whoever you're jumping in on, or whoever is nearby to prevent yourself from taking too much damage. Ghost is really good as well if you play Tristana more front to back, so it's really kind of like playstyle dependent / personal preference dependent / team comp dependent, so it kind of really both works, but I think most of the time Exhaust is going to be better. So anyways, with all that said, let's jump into talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now moving on to talking about the gameplay. Of course, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So, Tristana is a champ that works well with both engaged supports as well as enchanter supports. Personally though, for me, I like playing Tristana with engaged supports because I feel that with Tristana, if you can get some engages off from your support in the early game, and you get like 1-2 kills in the early game, you start the snowball and you basically just take over the game, which is what you're gonna see in this game. Whereas if you play with an enchanter, it still works really well because of course Tristana is still an amazing late game hyper carry, but your early game is going to be a lot weaker because you're either going to have to rely on yourself to try to get yourself kills, and if it fails you probably die, or you have to play safe and just scale up, which of course there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just it's obviously less fun because you're less fed, but at the same time as well, also it kind of puts yourself in a situation where if like someone in the enemy team gets fed, you are not fed and you can't deal with them, but whereas if you were fed, you might be able to just one-shot them because of course Tristana is incredibly bursty kind of champion. So here I'm playing with a Leona against a Gragas Senna, which is really weird because Senna is actually the ADC and Gragas is the support. Gragas has heal and aftershock, which is really strange. But yeah. So here it's a really weird lane, but basically you have to evaluate if you win the lane. Since we do win this lane at 2v2, we want to find opportunities to go in and fight. So here we're basically just CSing and we're just waiting for Leona to find an engage. We don't really want to jump in ourselves or anything crazy like that. Everybody hits level 3 in the lane here, so probably a fight's going to break out soon. Here Gragas lands a little bit of poke, but bone plating, as you can see, basically prevents me from taking any kind of meaningful damage. So here, once again, just waiting for Leona to go in, just CSing, nothing too big is happening here. Just taking some minions. We're focusing on the middle minion because the explosion is gonna do more damage to the outside minions, which allows us to take the minions a little bit more easily, which we do over here. So most important thing is to maintain a healthy state. You don't want to get poked out. Here you can see me and Leona are basically full health. Gragas has basically wasted all his mana at this point just trying to poke us out, but not really hitting. It's not doing a very good job of poking us. Here we do get rooted by Senna, and we do take a little bit of damage, but it's overall not too bad. It's barely a chunk. We can go back and take fruit to get ourselves back to full health, which is exactly what we're going to do to make sure we're in the healthiest state possible for the best chance of winning our all-in. So here, Leona finally lands the engage onto Gragas. Here we're just going to blast the Gragas since we have the bomb on him. He does end up flashing away. Here we're going to change focus to Senna. She flashes away as well. Here we're going in for the tower dive. Leona's tanking. And Lee Sin just swoops in and basically steals a double kill, which is pretty unfortunate, is all I can say. But yeah, we were supposed to get a double kill off of that, but ends up our jungler just comes in and just basically just steals the kills away. So what can you really do about it? But anyways, we at least get some tower plates and we get 2 assists out of that instead of 2 kills. But here we're gonna back and pick up, of course, some items. Yeah, some shield bow components. And yeah, so overall still a pretty good start to the game. You know, both Senna and Gragas did end up dying, so that is of course good news. And obviously that's a step in the right direction. Now here, another thing to note is you can see Gragas' itemization. You can see he has gone for a lost chapter. At this point in the game, you see him with a lost chapter, you should already know he's going to go damage, even though he has like aftershock and heal. Because nothing like really builds out of lost chapter that's defensive. Here again, Leona goes in. Here I'm just going to ult Senna and blast her away, just burst her down. I'm going to chase after the Gragas. Leona's stun goes in on Gragas and we're able to pick up the kill onto Gragas as well. Or rather, we get another assist. So here now we have 1 kill and 3 assists. Pretty sad situation for me, but you know, overall we're still killing and we're not dying, so you know, I'm not gonna complain too much. Here, Volibear tries to come in. I'm not really sure what he's trying to achieve here because his bot lane is dead, so he can't actually do anything here except try to stop us from possibly getting more tower plates. But here, we're charging up, got the tower plates, and we're gonna hop away. He tries to flash forward. I exhaust him. He's not gonna be able to chase us. And Lee Sin comes in, kicks him towards us, and here we're gonna just focus him down with the bomb. We finish off the kill. And Senna is now the next focus. Ziggs is now over here, so here I'm going to have to back off because a couple of Ziggs bombs is going to kill me. Leona's standing between me and Ziggs to ensure none of Ziggs Qs hit me. And here we are all just going to back. Me and Lee Sin do survive on pretty low HP, but overall we were not in too big of a danger. Here we're going to finish off our shield bow, get the components for Berserker's Greaves, and we're going to try to rotate over to the dragon, which is going to be spawning really soon. Here Lee Sin is trying to get a pick onto Gragas and Senna once again. Here I'm indicating that I am ready. Here Gragas ends up going in on Lee Sin instead. I'm hopping in, putting down my bomb and trying my best to blast down the Gragas. I'm trying to get that last shot, which we do manage to get with the ulti to finish off the kill onto Gragas. And with the pick onto Gragas, now we can move on to taking the dragon. So 3-0-3 at the moment. Still really fed. Of course, Lee Sin is also really fed. He's 5-0-2. Echo is 1-0-1. But if you take a look at his goal, he has more gold than both me and Lee Sin, even though he has only 1 kill. Now, why is this the case? Well, it's obviously because he took the tower. So he got all the tower plates plus the tower gold, which of course makes him incredibly fed. Now there, I jump in on Senna because I thought Leona was going to hit. But Senna ends up flashing, so Leona does not hit. And instead, we just end up jumping into the tower. Thankfully, we don't get CC'd, so we're all good. Here, Gragas trying to make his way back into the lane. But doesn't really work out for him. And here now, me and Leona are just going to back and pick up some items. We also, as a team, we also managed to pick up the Rift Herald. You can see Lee Sin has managed to get both the Dragon and the Herald. And it's getting to be a pretty stoppy game at this point, honestly, because Lee Sin's Giga fed, so am I. Echo is really fed as well, has been able to get the tower by himself already, and it's 12-2 kill ratio at this point. Here I end up in a 1v2. Gragas actually ults me into the fruit, which allows me to actually get back a lot of health. Leona comes over to turn the fight. I hop over. We get the kill onto the Senna, or Leona does, and then we are able to finish the kill onto the Gragas as well. So now 404. Every time I get a kill, I'm gonna get an assist as well because I somehow don't manage to get the kill. Anyways, with that, we are also able to pick up the entire tower. Of course, all of the plates as well, but most of our plates were shared with either Lee Sin or Leona, so obviously we're not as fed as the Echo in terms of getting the tower plates. Even though we're 404, Echo still has more gold than us at 102. So obviously this shows you how strong just getting tower plates is. Kills are not everything. If you can just shove your opponent out of lane constantly and take tower plates, you are still going to get very fed. So with both side lane towers down at this point, my team is now trying to force down mid lane tower. However, the enemy team kind of gets the message, and everybody in the enemy team kind of rotates to the mid lane. You can see 3 people on the enemy team there as well. Here, since we're so fair, we're just going to hop the wall, just get the quick kill onto the Gragas, and just walk back out, basically. So here, we're going to finally get down the mid lane tower with the help of the Rift Herald. Enemy team, of course, cannot stop the Herald. We do secure the mid lane tower. And all tier 1 towers have been secured at this point. Me and Corky can't really do anything too much here. He only tries to go in. Ziggs throws in his ult as well. Echo goes in as well. Here I'm just trying to blast wherever I can. Here I actually ulted the Volley Bear to try to push him away from me because I knew he was going to engage on me. But he happened to be in his ultimate, so he was unstoppable, and as a result I do end up dying to the Volley Bear because after I used my ulti, I didn't really have any more defensive tools. I did have my flash and exhaust, so that's kind of a lie. But I didn't use them in time. I just got basically bursted down by the Volley Bear and I just died. So not a good look. But anyways, we are back. Almost have enough for the very quick blades at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate back up to the top lane because there is a huge wave that's managing to accrue. So one quick way of getting rid of this wave is to use Tristana's third ability on a low health HP minion. So you can see that, boom, the whole minion wave just explodes, and we're able to get that whole wave, in like 2 seconds. So here we're really close to getting the Navari Quick Blade, so we're just going to quickly get this Gromp to try to get enough gold for the Navari Quick Blades. I believe we do have enough now, so we are going to back and pick up the Navari Quick Blades, like so. And in the meanwhile, my team is just straight up pushing down tier 2 bot and now going for like the inhib or something like that. It's pretty wild because our team is so far ahead, 21-3 at the moment, like 13k gold lead. It's a complete it's a complete stomp in this game. So yeah, sometimes you do have one of those classic stomps, and now basically we're just seeing if the enemy team is gonna just face check us into the jungle, which they might do that, and they're just gonna die if they do. So we're just kind of just hanging around here and just seeing if they make that mistake. Dragon's gonna spawn, so we're gonna just hit over to the dragon and pick up the free dragon. Enemy team does basically the only thing they can, which is try to get a pick on Corky in the side lane. Like if you're that far behind, the only thing you can do is try to look for picks. and try to look for ways back into the game, but Corki does manage to escape and doesn't even die or anything like that. We pick up the dragon, and yeah, so here going for the top wave. Lee Sin's also fighting us on the top wave. This Lee Sin is incredibly greedy, considering that he already has 10 kills and he's gonna fall off in the mid to late game. He shouldn't be, taking all the resources for himself. But anyways, here we find another fight, into the enemy team. Corki comes in with the package. I'm gonna jump in, kill off the Senna as well as the Yone. Now working on the Volibear. Volibear goes down as well. And here we have a wave, so we're gonna be able to push down the top tower. I see a red buff on the enemy side, so I'm gonna quickly just pick up this red buff. And wave has gone, so Lee Sin just hopped down the tower. I'm gonna just quickly finish off this tower. And of course we want to counter jungle if we can. So since Lee Sin's not taking the Raptors, I'm going to go ahead and focus the Raptors instead. He and Echo are going to go for the mid lane tier 2, which they do manage to get. So slowly we're dismantling the enemy team. All the tier 2 towers have been destroyed from of the enemy team. And now basically we're just trying to close out the game, trying to get Baron and close out the game or whatnot. The only thing we don't want to do is to just go in one by one, get cocky, get overconfident, and just end up throwing the game. So here I'm gonna go in because Leona's hitting all of her CC. We managed to get the kill onto Gragas. And here I'm trying to see if we can pick up mid lane inhibitor, but our mini wave has evaporated. Without a wave here, no point in staying mid. We're gonna rotate over to bot instead. Lee Sin already pushing in bot. And it's not really safe to just walk up and siege the tower, unfortunately, because entire enemy team is like basically there. Not entire enemy team, 2 people are dead, but we don't want to take any unnecessary risks. I'm gonna back and pick up the entire IE at this point because we've gotten so much gold just from like being out on the map, killing people, getting waves, objectives, etc. that we can build our entire IE at this point. So here I'm gonna rejoin my team. I can see a fight's gonna happen, so I actually was going for the red buff, but I ignored it. I'm gonna go straight for my team and see if I can help them out. Here I'm gonna jump in, try to get the kill on Yone, but Yone dies before I can. So unfortunately, I don't get the reset. And yeah, so here we're just gonna push in waves again. Just once again, just counter jungling the enemy team. And here I'm pinging for Baron because honestly we're so far ahead at this point that we should be able to take Baron for free. We're like almost 20k gold ahead. It's like so one-sided that we should be able to just walk in, take Baron, and just use Baron to end the game. We shouldn't fool around by trying to mess around with the enemy team. So here I'm just waiting for Lee Sin to take the red buff, which I am able to get as well. And then now we're gonna just start up the Baron and just go ahead and do the Baron. Of course, the enemy team can't really do all that much. They know we're doing it, but there's nothing much they can really do. Gragas just try to walk in, almost one-shots me, but of course because of the shield bow, I'm fine. Lee Sin takes the fruit, Leona takes the fruit, and I have no fruit left to take, even though I'm the guy who's at 1 HP. I was considering going back for more fruit, but I decided that as long as I can play safe at range, I will still be able to contribute without putting myself at too big of a risk. So see here, my bomb basically ends up getting the kill on Yone, which is pretty funny. Here Volibear tries to come in, I exhaust him, I'm just blasting him. I do ult him away because I don't want him to just auto-attack me for free and put myself in danger. So here another fruit is finally here, but look at the lifesteal at this point with the help of the Bloodline Rune together with, of course, our Shield Bow. So here I'm just going to quickly try to focus down this tower using my bomb, take it real quickly. Corki is going to top lane and doing that. I'm here to help him out, as is the Sin. And in the bot lane, we have another tower getting pushed down. Here I'm just going for kills at this point. Here I'm just going to blast down the Volibear. Trying to blast down the Senna. Senna runs away. Here Lee Sin kicks Yone out, and I'm able to get a kill on Yone. And obviously the minions will finish the game at this point, so I'm going to try to go for the kill onto Senna if I can. Hopping forward, going for the kill onto Senna. I managed to almost kill her under the fountain, but the minions end the game. But anyways guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and see how this new build of Tristana, is really, really strong. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.